traffic. Hey, folks. Oh, got the red light. Good morning. Good morning. Before Jared gets in the car and I have to, like, I'm sure I'm going to have a moment because he's so busy. He's so extra in the morning. This is my song, though. The group is called Need to Breathe, and it's called Wash All the Water. Wash by the water. Anyway, yeah, so great evening, actually. Very, very stressful day. Stressful morning, afternoon. Things actually got relatively better once I got home and saw my Jared. Yeah. Which is weird because I'm trying to run. Lately, I've been trying to run from my Jared. But yeah. Boy, so trying to get him out this whole spoiled state / I'm supposed to have, I'm used to mindset. Yeah. You know, just trying to show him too. I don't have to, as parents, we don't have to cook dinner for you. We don't have to have certain type of things in the refrigerator. We don't have to. You know, the law just says, or I will say suggests these days, to have a roof over your head. It didn't say what type of roof. Feed you. It didn't say what type of food. You don't have to have a bed. This boy has a Sealy mattress, okay? And just trying to get him together. But it hit me like, oh wow, soccer starts tomorrow, which is today. And the boy has sprouted out and grown so much over the last few months. Since like May, his foot has grown a whole size and a half since May. And we discovered this 2 weeks ago. Crazy. He still wears a 10 and a dress shoe. But regular tennis shoes, 11. And in about 2 months, where his foot was, he'll be in 11 and a half. And the boy just turned 12 in May. That's crazy to me. Like, seriously crazy. But I had to jump up because he hasn't played soccer in about a year. Yeah, it's been about a year or year and a half. So the soccer shoes that he had were 9 or 9 and a half. And no, they were 9. But soccer shoes are like church shoes. You don't really wear the, oh, I could have went that way, Jesus. It's like the cut, it's kind of like a half size than what you would relatively wear. And he was able to fit his soccer shoe, but his toe was like right there, but it was like kind of curled up. So I had to run and buy soccer shoes. And Jared's really into soccer and baseball. He knows his players, I mean, the whole nine. He's actually loved and played soccer before this baseball phenomenon took over him. And he's like, Mom, there's the Mezzies, and start naming all these other shoes. I'm looking at him like, boy, listen. I even, for those who follow my Instagram, you see I posted pictures. You know, they had soccer shoes like at $250. I was like, boy, I wouldn't even spend that on, listen, a shoe that's on your foot? No, thank you. I wouldn't even spend that for myself for a shoe. No. Anyway, so I'm looking for the shoes that are for sale. And I said, you took a sabbatical off of soccer for a year and a half, meaning, well, I would say I had a part to play in that too, because we were living in one area of the city, and then we moved to the suburbs, and then I allowed him to play for another year, you know, so I wouldn't be totally pulling him from old friends to new friends. So he played his baseball and basketball in the area where we was at, and then I would just drive back to the city to let him play soccer with his friends. But it was just getting too much, like the ripping and running and the traffic. It was just too much for me. And then two, Jared started entering his pre-tween stages, so the days he wasn't kind of acting like he should, it kind of made it easy. I'm like, I'm not doing all this ripping and running, and I hope it's not an accident or anything. I said, I'm not doing all this ripping and running for you, and you're cutting up. So it kind of made it easy. So it was kind of mostly my decision. I'll say like a 70-30 of why he hasn't played in a year and a half. And because he, well, for the city league, when we would go to his baseball practice, because our area has soccer as well, but they play the exact same time as his baseball does. And I'm not running around like my head's cut off. I am not. Is this car, like, seriously? Anywho, yeah. So yeah, I'll say like a 70-30 thing, because he does. He likes soccer, and when he found out you can get a scholarship with soccer, yeah, then his brain started going. I'm like, yeah. What was my point? Oh, so I'm like, Jared, no. I said no to like 7 pair of shoes, because they were like expensive as all get out. I mean, like super expensive. And I could have just went that way. Yeah, expensive is all get out. And when I was like, okay, he starts tomorrow, I almost don't have a choice. You know, this one pair, I figured I'd get him. It was spending $10 more than I wanted to. That's okay. He needs a pair of shoes to start tomorrow. And then ding, ding, ding. We were in Dick's. The way Dick's is set up is kind of like a sports player's heaven. Like, you walk in and you're like, oh, yes, God. Like, everything. Like, the setup, it's just a marketing trick, basically. But they're so expensive. They are. If you don't, you need it. For me, I think you need a coupon to shop in Dick's. You do. So, we've found favor with Dunham's since Jared was like 4 years old. He's 12 now, since he was about 4. I mean, a shoe can be like $80, and they'll always give it to me for like half off, and then trying to find like another 10%. But they didn't have a big soccer selection when we went last time to see. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just happened to go online. I didn't see anything, but I called, and I was asking the guy, did he have like a certain, the shoes Jared wanted and how much it was. The shoes Jared wanted was $70, and I'm like, for a soccer shoe. But also because the size of his foot, which I dread. So anywho, wait a minute, I'm getting there. Bless God, I'm getting there. They were $70. The man told me over the phone they were $50. We have them for $50. I said, what? I'll be there in 10-15 minutes. But I made a stop into a jewelry store and kind of got like held up. So we got there, and the guy, he was like, hey Val, he was like, was that you on the phone? I was like, yeah. He was like, I have the shoe for you right here. I took it off the box, called Jared over, had to like PA system him down, because he then walked off to the baseball section looking at new bats. Oh, yes, another thing, I bought him a new bat. Again, favor again with him. Bats that are relatively like almost $100-something. I got it for like $25. I just said, Lord, the favor that's on him, can I have some of that, just like a little bit? Like, anywho, so the whole time he rung us out, them same shoes Jared wanted, I got them for $37. I know it was long-winded, but I had to tell you the whole story so you can understand, like, oh, how excited I was. I was like, I got these shoes for $37. Are you kidding me? I said, Jared, like, seriously, we will never go to Dick's. Like, you can go to Dick's and I'll sit in a car and you can, like, walk around and with your friends, but we're not buying anything out of Dick's unless you've already, like, made the way to find a coupon or things like that. But yeah, it was a blessing. And then he was ungrateful because he immediately saw, oh wow, the guy gave my mom a deal again. He ran and was like, oh well, my basketball's coming up too, can I go buy 2 new sleeves? So of course, like, you know, brand name, he went and got Nike. I'm like, and then he got this other, I forgot the brand, what the brand is called. It wasn't Adidas, it's this other group. And I was like, why do you need 2? He was like, for both my arms. And he was like, it has padding. He went through this whole, like, production like he was on the marketing team. Anyway, raising boys, honey, alone. It's crazy.